Alright guys, Mighty Donut 88 back with another one. This time, as you can see, it is a post-recording. My recording and my stream failed for last night's league race, so I'm recording this the day after, and hopefully I can get it to work this time. Changed up my streaming software and recording software and stuff like that. So this is a post-commentary. I'll turn back on the in-game chat here in a minute. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see caution flags and stuff like that, so I'll just kind of have to tell you when there's a caution flag. And I'll also be able to kind of try to show you what caused them immediately. So yeah, I'll try to kind of walk you through what I was thinking and stuff. And yeah, so here we are at the start of the race. Also, if you're interested, down below there's a link to my Twitch. Hopefully we can get the live streams working again, as well as my Discord if you want to come hang out in the Discord and join the truck league that I'll be starting. As you can see here, he goes on the green flag. You can't really see it, unfortunately. Let me turn the audio back on. And yeah, so right now we're just fighting hard, trying to stay with him the best we can, and hopefully get out in the lead and clear him. So I'm just trying to give it as much as I can without overdriving and getting loose. As you can see, it's pure chaos behind. Fighting him hard. I actually led that lap at the line. Still fighting hard, and I finally clear him. He starts to come back on the inside, but can't get it done, so I'm clear of him, and caution comes out. So let's go back and take a look at what brought out the caution. It was right here. So you can see the 53 fighting with Franklin here in 5th. Gets a little loose, slides up the racetrack, just barely clips the 20, which turns him into the 5 of Taylor Litzenberg, who then goes rolling down the backstretch. Luckily, no one else was involved. And yeah, that would
That was a
bring
good
out
battle there,
our
Matthew. Good
first
shit.
caution of the race.
Probably gotta get a few.
So we are back now after the caution. Here we are about to take green flag. And I have the lead. I chose the inside. And I was just trying to time my jump, and I was able to time it pretty good, as you'll see here. I got clear of them by a couple of tenths, and heading into turn 1, which is good for me. So something I'm going to try to do, since this is a replay, is do stuff like that where I cut the cautions, and eventually my goal is to find an editing software where I can do that even when I'm not recording out of a replay like this. But yeah, I was very happy to get clear of them at this point, because I knew that clean air is very, very important here. And what's interesting is the car behind us actually started on his Vegas setup, because he was struggling at this track so much, so he decided to try to run the Vegas setup, and put him down for the pole position in his qualifying run. So congrats to him for having that work out for him.
I got an autograph from Chase and Bill Elliott. He came to our old town for dirt races.
But yeah, so we were talking about, for those that don't know, I was at Texas Motor Speedway for All-Star Weekend, and we were talking about that during the caution break, and I was talking about how it was hard to get a Kyle Larson and a Chase Elliott signature. So. But yeah, you can see right now Matthew is, he's got a very strong car. And at this point early in the run, I'm pretty sure he was faster than us. He had a fantastic short run car. And I was just doing everything I could to try to keep him behind. So, working my ass off, doing everything I can. And then at the same time, I was trying to kind of conserve tires, because you never know how long of a run you're going to get, and I didn't want to screw myself if we ended up having a long run. As you guys probably know, in this league, I've screwed myself in several ways. 3 out of the 4 races I've ran were second place finishes, and 1 was a DNF. We'll have to wait and see how well I can do in this race. My whole goal here in the All-Star race was to come out, show up, and have another good finish. They decided to make it, to try to get people to show up at the end of the stage, which was on lap 30. I shouldn't say was, is on lap 30. First place gets 3 points, second place gets 2 points, third place gets 1 point, and the same thing again at the end of the race. And they're letting you choose if you want them to be like regular season points or playoff points. So that was kind of the incentive for running this race. I'm just going to make a quick edit on an overlay as I see something a little bit messed up. Not that one. Slide it over just a little bit. Just like that. Actually, you know what? Let's move it out just a little bit farther. Sorry about messing with this in front of you guys. Just trying to work out the kinks in the new recording thing. But yeah, so at this point we're starting to get a nice long run, and it's kind of became a two-man show. It's just me and Matthew. He's 2/10 behind me, 3/10 behind me, and then way back, almost 2 seconds back, is Andrew. And it looks like he got a little tight or a little loose there. He had a bobble, and that gained us a couple tenths. And as you'll start to see, that was kind of the end of his tires there. He starts struggling really bad now and having a lot of issues. We're just trying to keep it nice and consistent, run a good line and get solid lap times, while just maintaining the lead. We wanted to settle in and drive our race. I felt very confident out in the lead that it was going to be hard for them to pass me, because it's really hard to follow on this track. But you can see he's hanging on a little bit, still staying around 4 to 5 tenths back. And at this point, I noticed that we were catching the pack, so I was already starting to mentally prepare for, okay, what if we catch the back of the field? How am I going to handle that? How am I going to get through them? And that sort of thing. Since we had a little bit of a gap, I was starting to take it a little bit less aggressive, and you can see Matthew had another big moment there that cost him a lot of time, and from here on out he's just going to start falling back.
Yeah, I hope it's not me. I'm not trying to be Kyle Busch today.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be Ross Chastain today.
You can hear us making comments about the actual All-Star race.
I just don't want to be Kyle Larson doing the last lap.
I'm actually going to make one more change for you guys. I'm sorry that these are happening during the video, but I think it'll be better in the long run. This way you can see everything. And I know it's in a weird position, but normally you would have my on-screen section over there in the corner. That's why it's not all the way slid over.
Not sure if I came up into you or if you came down into me.
But yeah, we had 14 drivers for this race.
Yeah, it was racing.
Hunter and Andrew getting together in the back of the field, but no caution. And we're just trying to keep running these consistent lap times. 30.37 on the previous lap, 30.38 on the one we just completed. just trying to keep that consistency since we're starting to get a long green run. Starting to feel out how our tires are on a longer run. And as you can see, Matthew fell way off. At this point, he was struggling with tires a lot. So by now I knew that as long as we could hold the lead, we definitely had the fastest car. But again, in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, man, we've been here before, and I've blown it. Darlington had one of the fastest cars. Kind of got screwed and buried in the back of the pack after the connection issue from the car behind me. And then I wrecked myself. I forget which track it was, Dover, I think. Had a good lead and just started overdriving at the end of the run. Ended up second. Last week, underfueled, ended up second. But as you can see, Andrew eventually got past Matthew and was now kind of looking to see if he was able to run me down, because Matthew was clearly falling off. He could do really well on a short run with that Vegas setup, but during the long run he just started to struggle a lot. And again, my whole thing here is just trying to be consistent, keep it out of the wall, make no mistakes, but push, not so much like 100%, but push enough that I don't have to worry about them catching me. I was wanting to also keep that pushing up just because it would give me a good idea for later in the race, if I had to push to stay ahead of people, what I could do. And as you can see here, we've built up almost a 3-second lead. And a caution comes out. So this caution actually started way back here with Taylor getting into the wall, spinning low into the grass, trying to save it. He gets back on the track, gets a little loose in 1 and 2, catches that curb, and spins, hits the wall, and that is what brought out our caution. You can see the caution lights on over there. To go. So you can see here, under caution, after recovery, the 53 goes in and gets into the back of the 42.
Come on, man.
And then the 12 gets involved. This is under the caution shortly after Taylor recovered. Taylor apologized, but it wasn't his fault.
So
it was definitely the other people's fault. And in the background, you can kind of hear me discussing. I thought stage was lap 35, but it was actually lap 30. So that gives us the stage win right there for the 3 points.
Yeah,
so back on my view here, we are going to end up pitting here after 26 laps. And get some fresh tires and top off on fuel.
Hey, the guys that that were involved in that accident, how old you guys one? I'm sorry about that.
That was Taylor once again apologizing, but I really don't think it was his fault. I think that was 100% on the guys who didn't check up. So just trying to have a good clean pit stop here. I wanted to maintain the lead. Checked up early and then went too far. And that's going to cost us. Cost us a couple tenths,
so
maybe a second or so.
To get the lucky dog there because of that contact. Could I possibly get a wave around?
And you can see we will lose not only 1 but 2 positions here on the exit of pit road.
Damn it, I slipped through my box.
Thank you, sir.
Chasing me?
It's not right.
That would be
Alright, promise.
94, 96, 98, 99.
93%.
Alright, promise.
Alright, sorry about that. Got
94,
a little bit of
96,
confusion.
98,
We're
99.
back. This time about to go green. You can hear us talking about our tires and stuff. And yeah, going green, and you can see the 65 jumped really early there. So we're trying to get around the 44 of Matthew Byers. At the moment we're clear of him, but he'll get a good run off the corner. Even with us. Just trying to get clear so that we can run down Andrew and try to get the lead back since I messed it up in pit road. So finally got clear of him. Now we're just trying to chase down Andrew, and we know that Dirty Hair is hard. And I remember thinking right now that, man, I just want these tires to warm up because it's really freaking loose. And the good thing is we know that Matthew is not very good on the long run. So if we just have this race go green for a while, Matthew will fall off, and then it's just down to seeing if Andrew is good on a long run or not, or if he can keep up. We know we pulled away from him last time, but don't know if that's just because he was taking it easy or because he was stuck in dirty air. Right now I was really struggling. I was getting frustrated with how terrible the car felt in dirty air behind these guys. It felt loose. I couldn't hold the line I wanted to hold. And then I was back under attack from Matthew, because Matthew knows he has to go. He's got a short run car. He needs to hold the hold position up front as long as he can on a short run. And he had that experience of being behind another car. I really didn't. So I was struggling a little bit. I was loose. I was trying to push, but I felt like I couldn't really push because the car was so loose. And I was honestly debating making adjustments to the car if we got a caution. But at the same time, I was like, man, out in the lead, the car feels beautiful. It's just back here in traffic that it kind of sucks. So I was going back and forth on that in my head, and yeah. At this point, kind of just settling in, getting used to how the car feels. There's 4 of us all stacked up, so I was just trying to run down the leader. I knew I was better than him in 1 and 2, as you can see here. Get a little loose on exit, but I'm still faster on exit than these guys in 1 and 2, but they're better than I am in 3 and 4. So just trying to manage tires, trying to track him down, but it's hard. Like, I was learning real quick that it is very hard in dirty air to get up behind them. As you can see, I got loose again there in 1 and 2, but I'm still faster than him on exit. I'm still gaining on him a little bit. And I think it started to cost me a little bit because I started having to push through 1 and 2 harder than I wanted to, because I knew that was the only place I could gain. As you can see here, I've lost 2/10 in 3 and 4, and then I'll gain a little bit back here in 1 and 2. This time 1 and 2 stuck much better, and get a pretty decent exit, still holding about a ½ second behind. About now, I was just hoping for a caution. I was like, I do not like how the car feels. I either want a quick caution or I want a long run so that I can get back to where I had the best tires. I was also concerned though, like, are my tires going to hold up as good as they did on the first run, being back here in traffic? 44 got another good run, so I couldn't hold the line I wanted to. He tried to pull a slide job. Luckily, he backed out of it. As we see a wreck up ahead of us, and that was Robert Benson and that would bring out the caution, so let's go get a replay of that. Riding behind Matthew Benson here, just to see what happens. You can see he starts getting a little loose on exit, tries to save it and overcorrects, gets in the wall, and then gets in the wall down here again, and kind of stops, and that's where we go by. So let's go ahead and take you to the restart.
Tires should be good for 50
Alright,
laps.
taking you back to this moment
And
under
should make
caution,
on
we're
fuel.
checking up, and the 48 just, or the 44 just runs over the 65 under caution.
Check up backstretch.
And I almost got hit by Franklin, but huge damage to both of those cars. Let's go ahead and go get a better view.
Laps.
So here
And
we are
should
with the
make on
44,
fuel.
and you see he just tries to check up, but the 65 came up in front of him, and he just
Checking up
clobbers
backstretch.
him.
Check up backstretch. I know that feeling, bro. That's what happened to me a couple weeks ago at Darlington.
42, you gotta jump up in front of the 53. Oh my
Alright, back on my view, you see the 65 recovered and got in front of us,
42,
and we
42,
decided we're
come
going
on,
to
you
pit,
gotta pass
because
these
it had
cars.
been a few laps since the caution, so we decided to go into pit road. And I was hoping to just do much better this time. I did not
know
want to
if you have
lose
the black
more
flag.
positions on pit road. This puts us in at lap 39. We had last pitted at, I think it was 26, so it was a good 13 lap run or so. And at this point I was just like, man, I cannot miss it. So I checked up a little bit early, and this time stayed checked up. And getting my 4 tires and fuel. And my whole goal here was win the race off pit road. And what I didn't realize is that JT and Aaron stayed out. So in the original one, I got really excited here. I was like, hell yeah, we fucking won the race off pit road. We're going to start with that clean air. And then I think you'll hear me make the realization and come on the net that 2 people stayed out. But I'm going to go ahead and get us to the restart. Alright, back here for the restart. Restarting third behind 2 guys who put it on lap 29, which was when we last pit before this one. So it was a 10 lap run.
Guys up front are on older
Behind
tires,
JT and
so
Aaron,
just in case they
2
spin
really
them,
good
be prepared to check
drivers.
up.
As you can hear, I warned people that they were on old tires, and JT went insanely early. I think I said the last guy went early, but he went insanely early. Like, as soon as the pace car was off, he went. And I remember saying something along the lines of, man, I wonder if he got a black flag, because that was really early. But yeah, so now we're just trying. We know we have fresher tire than these guys. As you can see, I'm inside of the 63, trying to clear him into turn 3 and 4. Unfortunately, a caution came out and prevented me from clearing, so let's go see what happened. Alright, so we're back here on the chase cam, and this is what brought out the caution. 44, who we were racing with earlier, just gets loose off the corner, slams the inside wall, and caution will come out. Very unfortunate for him that he had such a strong start, and then that incident under caution where he ran over the 65, and then now this.
If it's junior.
Alright guys, we are back for the restart. And once again restarting third because we couldn't quite clear the 63 before the caution came out. And you will see he goes insanely early this time. Insanely early. And this time I was definitely like, what the hell?
Give me a black flag. I went when the pace car went down.
And as you can see here, he got a black flag. And so did
I did wait for the pace car.
the 63 of Aaron,
It has to be below
who we
the
ended up
line.
clearing in that corner. But you're going to hear them go back and forth a little bit on how he cannot jump that early. He has to wait until it's in pit
It
lane.
has to be below the line and then you can go.
And ultimately, they are going to end up clearing his black flag, which is unfortunate, because right now I am thinking I am fighting Andrew for the lead because JT has a black flag. But as soon as they clear it, which is about here, I think.
I got the same penalty.
I'm kind of like, yep, right there, they cleared it, because he asked about it after JT's got cleared. So I realize now, fuck, I have to actually go and race this guy for real. Luckily, I had 11 lap fresher tires than him, so I'm just trying to run him down. I saw how much better I am than him in 1 and 2, but at the same time, there is that dirty air problem. And yeah, just trying to do whatever I can to get up behind him. And I was talking to the people that were, well, I thought were in my stream before I realized it had crashed, and saying that hopefully we can get a good run off of 1 and 2 to get inside of them on 3 and 4, because 1 and 2 I just felt better than everybody with this setup, because you can see how I can just roll up closer to his bumper and then get on the gas sooner than him. A little bit loose, but here we are. I'm like, alright, this might be my shot. He goes defensive to the inside, and I just don't make the move. I was a little nervous about going outside. I didn't want to have what happened to Kyle Larson in the All-Star race happen to me. So I ended up falling in behind him and hoping that I could get a better run this time and be a little bit closer. Unfortunately, as you'll see, we're about the same distance, maybe a little closer than last time behind him. Andrew has already given us a little bit of space. He had a little bobble in front of us, JT did, right there, and we're able to clear him. He got hard into the wall, keeps going. I think he falls back to third here, but that saved us a lot of time, and thankfully we were able to get clear of him. I think with the run we had out, we probably would have been able to get inside of him unless he went defensive again into 3 and 4. But again, I felt like I was slower than everybody else in 3 and 4. So at this point, those guys are starting to struggle a little bit. And it's me and Andrew once again racing. He has a very, very strong car in the number 65. He's running the Alex Bowman Ally car. Very strong car, very strong driver. And yeah, at this point, I'm just wanting the laps to tick down. I know I'm better on a long run. I knew we had enough fuel to get to 85 because, again, as unfortunately spoilers, we go into overtime because you can see the lap 90, but originally it was only supposed to go to lap 85. And at this point, I am just wanting to try to run away the best I can. And hopefully stay green, get the win. Don't mess myself up, wait for Andrew to have his tires wear out and fall off, like pretty much everybody does. But as you're gonna see, he actually he's getting back up with us. It's a fight just between him and I. JT's 2.5 seconds back, and it's just like the first stage with the number 44, except this time it's 65 of Andrew instead of Matthew.
I have to get down to the bottom, or my 1-2 is so bad.
But yeah, trying to just get back into that consistency. I knew how hard it was to drive behind someone with the dirty air, so I knew as long as we could be good in 1 and 2, I could hold them off in 3 and 4. I just had to make sure I was clear on the exit of 2. Because 3 and 4 being such a higher speed corner, it's hard to carry that momentum if you're tucked up under someone. And you can see he had an issue or something, I'm not quite sure what happened, but we gained a couple tenths on him. And that was huge. I was being really bad about looking into my mirror at this point, just trying to do whatever I could to clear him, or not clear him, sorry, to stay ahead of him and build a gap, because I knew once tire wear hit, we would be fine. But as you can see, I'm still running 30.13s. My fast laps were 29.8s, so I was still fairly confident overall with the car and with how it felt, not having too bad a tire fall off. And as you can see, we had a caution, and this hurt. I really wanted it to stay green, but let's go look at what happened. Sitting here watching the view of the number 121 of Hunter Terpstra to see what happened, and he just gets a little high, gets into the wall, clips the 63, I think that was, of Aaron Poplin, and goes around. Luckily no one else was involved, but yeah, that's what's brought out the caution, so let's go ahead and go forward. Alright, I'm back here when we catch the pace car, and now it's time to choose if we pit or not. And I was going back and forth, because we ran 30.1s, our fast laps were 29.9s, 29.8s, so we only had a couple tenths fall off, and I knew track position was important. So I decided I'm going to fake going to pit road and see what happens. And I pull down, He pulls down, and for some reason I decided, nah, I'm not going to pit. I want the track position. And that puts us on about a 15 lap of green flag older tires, with only 4 of us staying out than the rest of the field. So let's go ahead and skip back to the restart.
I feel like some donuts too. Might rub
Alright,
against
we're
one.
back with the restart, and at this point I'm hoping for just
Please
a long
don't.
green flag run. 4 of us stayed out, 3 of us pit on lap 40 for tires,
making me
and
more
then
hungry the more we
4th
talk
place
about
had
food,
lap
this sucks.
45 for tires. So we all had about 15 green flag laps on it, so I was focusing on a good restart, which you can see I got there, and I wanted those 4 cars that stayed out with me to hold up Brian and Andrew and JT and everyone else who pitted, so that I could try to run away, because if it stayed green we only had 22 laps left till lap 85, so that was my goal. And you can see Franklin had a hell of a turn 1 and 2, and he was coming. Unfortunately, another caution. So back here to look at what brought out the caution, we're riding behind the 72, who just gets loose and clips the 93, who goes into the wall, and then the 12 piles in. Unfortunate for the 12 and for all them for getting loose.
Usually I have to make a
Alright,
mid-race
so we're back
maybe
here
turn
about to take the
caution.
restart. Luckily, the 4 people that had stayed out were still holding 1 through 4, and we were going to be taking the green flag at 68. So I was thinking this is a good thing for me.
Well,
so I
the
never
nearest
pit
bathroom to me is a floor above me, so that ain't happening.
under that caution because I wanted the track position, and since there were
Oh,
3
mine's
others
right across
behind
the
us with
hallway.
slower tires, I thought we had a good chance. So once again, I was just trying to get a good restart, so I was waiting for Franklin to kind of check up and try to get out there because I knew he had a strong car. At this point, I'm still like, alright, from here, green flag to the end, we should be good. It's what, 17 laps to the end? I think we'll be okay. And by then, the guys back in the pack with fresh tires will start having their tires wear out. So we got a good jump of half a second out on Franklin. And at this point, I'm feeling very confident. I'm like, heck yeah, this might be our win. Huge lead, pulling out on him. He just didn't get the restart he did last time. And so I'm just trying to take it easy, get those tires warmed up as quick as I can. You can see I'm loose, almost spin, getting the wall there.
No one saw that.
Someone else had
Considering
gotten
you were
loose in the
directly
back
in
of the
my
field.
A-post, that is correct.
And back to just trying to hang on. I blew the big lead I had. Luckily I knew they were all on equal tires. Franklin is a very fast driver, so I was very concerned about what would happen if he caught me. I was hoping that we could hold him off, but yeah. Unfortunately, as you can kind of see there in the rearview mirror, they had an incident and no caution for it, which puts Andrew right back behind me once again, 1.3 seconds
boy.
back
Let's
on
start.
fresh
Better hope that
tires.
this doesn't stay green.
And man,
Now I'll be the first
I
driver
was
to go on
concerned.
flip
I was
and
like,
stay
if it
green.
stays green, I've only got 1 second, and he's gonna be way faster. But I don't want to caution either. So at this point, I'm starting to freak out. I am pushing as hard as I can. I'm like, I do not have time to not push. I need to get as big of a gap as I can to get out ahead of him. And unfortunately, another caution.
What are you mad about? That honestly is probably the best thing for you.
As you can hear, he was a little upset,
I
but
guess.
I was also upset. I think I had a chance to hold him back had there not been a caution. So let's go see what happened. Alright, back here again, following along with the 121 of Hunter Terpstra. To see what happens. As you can see, he's just trying to push. Gets a little wide, gets in the wall, goes in the grass. Looks almost identical as to what happened to Taylor earlier, and just tries to save it, but ultimately spins out. Again, almost identical to what happened to Taylor earlier in the race. We're back here about to go green. I had debated pitting, but unfortunately if I had pit, I would have been back to 8th or 9th, which is where all the people who
Almost
just pit ended up. Everyone who stayed out with me ended up pitting here, except for the number 20 of Andrew Mai. Everyone else pit, and they were all back in 8th.
There's one right in front of me.
Sorry, 9th, which means if I pit and was the first one off, I would have been 8th. Tried to get a good jump here. I knew that was the key, was to get a good lead. It was lap 77 to 85. I needed 8 laps. And unfortunate, an instant caution.
No.
Back here to look at the caution, we're once again
There's one right in front of me.
riding behind the 121 of Hunter Terpstra. It was not him though. As you see, the 42 just goes around and unfortunately collects the 44 again. I feel so bad for Matthew. He had such a good car. But what you will end up hearing is that he downshifted instead of upshifted. Alright, back on board, about to take the green flag. At this point I knew I couldn't pit. We were going to be taking the green flag at lap 81 of 85. 5 laps is all I needed to hold him off for. I knew I needed a great restart to be able to take the lead, hold him off.
Yeah, I saw.
And I was also
saw your
holding my
wreck.
brakes
That's when
under
I yelled
caution,
at
trying to get my tires to stay up on temperatures. And you can see I jumped pretty good. I wish I had the actual rear view mirror on, not just the in-car one. But I got him right as he hit the brakes to not pass me. So we got a couple tenth lead, and now I was in the mindset of I just have to hold this, whatever it takes. I need to drive hard and stay in the lead to finally get my first win in the league. And unfortunately it'd be in the all-star race, not a points race. But that was my mindset right now. And as you can see, I'm actually pulling away from him here on this first lap. I felt pretty good. I was like, alright, we got 4 tenths. By the time tires come up to temps where he'll have the advantage, the race will be over. We just caught lap 82.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, another caution. Alright, looking at what happened here, you can see the 12 got a great run on the 72 into 3 and 4. And just gets loose and clips the 72, and they both spin low. No one else involved. But that is what brought out the caution. Luckily, not much damage for either of them. And, yeah.
I'm not in the playoff hunt. I just want wins.
Alright, we're coming back here for the restart.
Not either.
This time it was a green-white checkered. Our first attempt at a green-white checkered. And I knew that I just needed to get a good launch
Like, I think only my
for
second
2
attempt
laps.
out of
If I could get a good launch, then I would be able to win this
I
race.
think, no, I've done 2, and I
So
had a chance
that
to
was my
mark,
goal.
so
And as you can
my
see, kind of
computer's
back
doing
there,
shit on me.
Aaron Poplin back up to 6th with those fresh tires. He started 9th, I believe it was, when he first came out after pitting. But we got a really good start. And in fact, Andrew Mai was almost able to get inside of the 65 of Andrew Jamelin. And that was good for me. They were kind of battling. I had the 2/10 lead. I was like, alright, just got to hold this for one more lap. Well, a lap and a half. Unfortunately, a caution came out again.
I think
And I had like a
Alright, sorry about that. I thought I paused it. So as you can see, the 121 got into the 63 there, and then it just caused a huge chain reaction behind them that ended up involving most of the
you
field.
checked it so much more than I thought you would have.
Sorry, I thought it was paused.
You're killing me. That was
I
my
apologize
chance,
for that.
man.
But
I
yeah,
had like a 3 or 4 tenth lead.
I was frustrated.
Gosh dang it. I don't
People
know how
got
many
frustrated
times
at the
more I
121
can
after
hold
that.
off
But let's
Terry.
go ahead and take it to the restart.
Restart.
Alright guys, we are back. This time it was the
I'm
second
trying,
and
brother, I'm
last
trying.
attempt at a green-white checkered. They only give us 2 in this league.
I agree.
So I
Yeah.
knew that I just had to jump it again, get another
Give me
good
some. That
lead,
car behind
and
you
try to
makes
do
me
the same
nervous.
thing I've been doing ever since that first caution. And hopefully,
Coming hard.
hopefully, be able to get a win.
Yeah, me and Franklin have new tires and we're coming.
Franklin and was up to 7th, Hunter up to 5th. Hunter is the one that was running over everybody, and as you can see, I did not get a good start there. I was like, shit. Luckily for me, Andrew J. Malin was side by side with Andrew Mai, but not for long. I was so concerned. I was getting loose on exit, and as you can see, he was looking inside. I went low to block, and a caution came out.
Like 3 cars this race. Come on.
And that was
Dude, really? Are you freaking
how the
kidding
race
me?
would end, under caution. Let's go ahead and go
We
back
weren't
and
the
look
only
at it.
wreck. There were like
Back on board with Hunter Terpstra once again in the 121 to see what happens here. He's on fresh tires trying to make a move. He gets to the outside of the 53 and loses it, gets loose, spins them, Franklin spins,
Hunter, man, you've wrecked like
and
3
pretty
cars
much
this race. Come
the
on.
entire field
Dude, really?
gets
Are you
taken
freaking
out
kidding
behind
me?
us.
Damn it, man.
Back on board with me here. At this
You
point,
would've
I
had
was
me,
yelling.
Andrew, had
I
that
was
caution not
pumped.
came out.
Finally got the win. I felt like I stole
Dude,
one
luck
because
is-
Andrew should have had it. If the caution didn't come out, Andrew wins it.
Hunter, the reason why there was a
And,
caution is because
you
we
can
all
see
had to check
here,
up
we'll
to
stay
avoid
behind.
you. That's why there was a caution. That was directly your fault.
it's the last lap. I was going for it. I just barely clipped him.
And JT's still not
that's
sure what he was referring to, if he was
That's not an
referring to
acceptable reason
me
to wreck people, Hunter.
or
Come on.
Jamelin or what.
If
But
I'm
yeah,
trying
so
to
now
wreck
just
someone,
sitting
I'm
behind
gonna
the
wreck
pace
someone.
car
I was not trying to wreck
to
someone there.
take my checkered flag.
That was just bad circumstance.
You're the win, Cody. God.
And
It's
finally,
a bad driver,
finally
not
got
bad
one. I definitely
circumstances.
stole this
You're on the
one, but I
outside.
didn't
I
care.
shouldn't be getting caught
After
on the
having
outside
2
line.
stolen from me, maybe 3,
You were
I was
slower.
just
I had
happy
to
to finally get the win.
I feel
And
like
there
we're
it
gonna have a
was.
good
That was my
shootout
checkered
there.
flag
At the front.
to win the race.
Wish we could've
Skipping
that
ahead a little bit, this
Get
is
ready,
me
get
coming
ready.
around to
Get up front.
do some burnouts. I figured I'd show them real quick.
Good one, guys.
And you'll see here, I ended up wrecking. Hit the wall during my burnouts. But yeah, I didn't care. I was just excited to win. So let's go ahead and go look at the results from that race. Alright guys, we're back here with the results. So as you can see, I ended up with the win and 0 incident points. The only person in the session to get 0 incident points. Our fastest time was a 29.863. Pretty proud of that one during the race. During the practice, a 29.816. And during qualifying, a 29.956. So very happy that one of the fastest times we put down was in the race. Just very proud to finally get a win. Felt like I have been deserving one for a while after having possibly 3 taken from me. But yeah, I feel really bad for Matthew Byers. He ended up 2 laps down. He had a very, very strong short run car, and I feel like had he not been wrecked, he would have been a threat there at the end. And Andrew, I've been there, brother. It's rough having a win stolen from you like that. He definitely would have had the win there. He had a great final restart and would have been able to beat me on the last lap. But once again, thank you guys for coming out and watching. Sorry for the little bit of errors in the video. Still trying to get used to this new software. And yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next one.